What's up everyone, it's Karthik with Moneyvest. I am absolutely exhausted if you can't tell already because I'm recording this market update at almost 3 in the morning because I'm here in Tbilisi, Georgia, and we just got done with Nvidia's earnings calls. I was live for a little bit over 2.5 hours. Definitely do check out that live stream if you want some entertainment, some more value. We listened to the entire earnings call from Nvidia, from Jensen Huang, and also took a look at the actual report. Very strong numbers. However, we're still seeing a broad-based sell-off in the markets right now. So if you come take a look at how the markets are responding to Nvidia's numbers after hours, as of the time of this video, we are seeing a pretty significant sell-off. Nvidia down over 6.7%, Advanced Micro Devices down a little bit over 4%, Netflix down over 0.5%, Tesla's down about 1.5%, Amazon down almost 1%. The entire semiconductor ETF that we have created, the index that we have created, down a little bit over 2.89% here. And Google down over 71 basis points. Microsoft down about almost 1%. Apple and Meta also down anywhere from 33 basis points to as much as almost 1% on the day after hours. And the Magnificent 7 index down over 1.29%. So yes, get ready for a pretty brutal start to the day tomorrow, wrapping up the entire month of August, and September seasonality is going to be under full swing. This update is not going to be super long because I could just get knocked down here on the floor and sleep. That's how tired I am. So I'll keep it nice and short, give you some of the important stuff. And then in my next update, when I'm refreshed, I will be going over the technical analysis on individual stocks. But before we get started, make sure that you drop a like, folks. I would really appreciate that. We're very close to 83,000 subscribers, so make sure that you also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps us out in a tremendous way, helps us grow our community. And, we've got so many amazing people from all over the world. So please make sure that you drop a like and, of course, subscribe to the channel as well. So this right here was the entire sell-off intraday, about $178 billion in Magnificent 7. The entire sell-off of just under $300 billion from the S&P 500 because the markets were down. So if you come over to the S&P, the Nasdaq, we were selling off. So Nasdaq was down over 1% on the day, selling off even more 1% after hours. Futures are down. And QQQ is also down after hours. S&P 500 down about 60 basis points, and the Dow Jones dropping over 159 points on the day. Now, if you come over to the extended hours, the after hours move that I just showed you over here, this is all extended hours. This is not for the day, but after hours, after the markets closed and after Nvidia reported earnings, we are seeing an additional $300 billion sell-off for Magnificent 7. And $209 billion of that is coming, of course, from the likes of Nvidia. So, that is going to be a pretty significant number here. And Nvidia is really going to take down the potential market tomorrow. That's almost 70%. 69% of the sell-off in Magnificent 7 after hours is coming from Nvidia stock. After the earnings, it's down almost 7%. At one point, it was down a little bit over 8%. But we did bounce off of that support here that we identified on our live stream. So if you come over to, I believe this was the chart that we were looking at. If you come over to 5 minute, no, this is not the one, but we're still down over 6.7%. And this right here is the immediate support at 115, right? So 115, a very strong support, double bottom on the 5 minute chart. We bounce off of that level, and right now we're just consolidating sideways for this company. Now this right here is semiconductors, also not doing very good after hours. Supermicro is down another 6.7% after having already a very brutal sell-off, down over 19% during the day after missing the deadline for their SEC filing for their 10K. Then we had Micron down a little bit over 3.5% here after hours as well. And then if you come over to AMD, as we already discussed, 4%, Lam Research down 2.7%, Intel almost 1% lower, Nvidia we discussed earlier, Broadcom down over 4%, more on semi down over 2%, SMH, the collective ETF down over 3.6%, and Applied Materials also down over 2.6% on the day. So once again, where's the money flooding to? Utilities, financials, healthcare, industrials. That is once again a very, very defensive positioning for the market, just giving us a very clear signal and a sign that we're not risk on just yet. I mentioned this in my other update talking about QQQs and how there is a little bit of negative divergence with the S&P 500 because tech is clearly not leading this entire market move higher. You can see QQQ's Nasdaq 100 down over 1.2% after hours. So again, brace yourselves for tomorrow. It's not going to be a fun day, especially if you're in long. If you come over to SPY on a new price scale, and this is what we had. And really what we're trying to identify here is every time the S&P 500 is actually making a higher high, the QQQs are making a lower high, thereby suggesting for the lack of leadership in technology, representing weakness in the market in terms of its breadth and leadership, thereby also suggesting for a potential top in the market. And that has happened over and over again, pretty much in the tops that we have seen in more recent history, where tech, every time it has not led the market, in fact, if anything, it's been underperforming, that's led to market tops here. And that's also led eventually to S&P 500 to also come down because, like I said in my previous video, if the S&P 500 does not get the leadership from technology, it is unfortunately not going to go anywhere. This right here was a divergence, which I highlighted in my previous video. Another divergence over here. QQQs making lower highs. So that's again eventually led to a little bit of a sell-off. This right here was the entire bear market of 2022. This right here, I believe we didn't quite see that at a very small scale. I mean, maybe you can kind of identify that over here on this chart as well, where you can see the S&P 500 making higher highs here. So basically going up to new all-time highs. And of course, QQQs essentially flat to slightly down. So once again, what you identify here is the lack of leadership in technology, which eventually leads to these types of sell-offs. And we're seeing that happen once again. Coincidence? Not so much, because QQQs underperforming the S&P 500, that's that divergence, meaning leadership is lacking from technology here. Now coming over to the Moneyvest dashboard, which again has served as a very important indicator in my decision making. So Moneyvest index sitting at 3.89. So it's come down from high levels of 4 back down to 3.89. Volatility was higher on the day. So if you come over to the VIX, we were up over 10%. It kind of went a little bit unnoticed, but back over 17. So we're now in the 47th percentile. The contango level has dropped to 9.73%, still 70%. Majority of stocks trading back above their 50-day moving average, 200-day moving average, as well as the 20 simple moving average. This number was at 89%. It's now come down to 80%. So we'll update everybody on where we are with these market breadth indicators as well, which are very important for the market. I'm going to have to fix that chart again. I had a perfect chart already loaded up. So this right here was the chart. I'll have to fix this, but this right here is S&P 500 stocks above their 50-day moving average, back down to under 70%. And this right here, 200 simple moving average, where right now it's 74%. So we'll keep a close eye on this. I'll fix the chart up top, which is the 20 SMA, because I updated TradingView and it's all messed up right now. Down about almost 2% from all-time highs now, 23 times price earnings multiple. That number needs to get updated. And we are sitting at a 57 RSI, so a little bit more modest, 58th percentile at the moment, and 90th percentile for the S&P 500. I actually did not update the PCC number, so put-call ratio right now in the market is sitting at, I'm assuming it's going to be above 1. It's a 0.9, so very close to 1. And I'm assuming over the next few days, it's possible that if this selling pressure continues in the market, it's possible that the put-call ratio jumps back above 1, meaning more puts than calls in the open market. Okay, coming over to S&P 500 now, very important technical analysis that I want to break down, and that is this 30-minute time frame. And what you'll notice is that we already knew that there was a massive support here inside this green rectangle. That's exactly the level that I pointed out earlier in the week, that the bulls need to hold this level in order for us to see some type of momentum higher. And this is the most important level for the bulls. However, S&P 500, so SPY, is already down. It's down a little bit over 71 basis points. So what we're really doing is 70 basis points from today's close is going to put us already breaking down below the support. So it's most likely that we're going to be gapping down. We're most likely going to be gapping down tomorrow, and this will turn into a resistance for the market. So all support will now potentially act as a resistance. If there is any momentum overnight and we don't gap down as much, then there is still a possibility that this level to continue to act as a support, but chances are slim, unfortunately, because futures are down. Nvidia continues to sell off, taking down the entire semiconductors and technology with it. The lack of leadership resulting in the S&P 500 eventually also caving in and selling off. So if you do gap down here, it's chances are we're going to open somewhere around here. It's possible that as the markets open, we trade back up, retest that old support as a resistance, and then of course selling pressure continues to the downside. And it's possible, of course, we come down to 5,400. I think that's the level that everyone need to be mentally prepared to see. Again, it is a possibility for markets to retest down to those levels of 5,400. That's going to be a nice little support here that we validated in the past for S&P 500. Of course, another support validated here for the markets as well. So this is very, very common. It's okay. It's a healthy pullback. And as we discussed, the markets are not going to just keep going up forever like they did over here. A very nice V-shaped recovery. So tomorrow's game plan, we most likely gap down if nothing changes overnight. We push back higher, get a little bit of a retest, and it's possible that we rotate back down. If the bulls do not recapture this level right here tomorrow, then there is a possibility for us to see some levels down here in the 5,400 for S&P 500. Talking about the Nasdaq now, more specifically QQQs, and looks like we're already starting to break down as we already had discussed in our previous videos. This right here was a breakdown, and again, it's possible that this is where we are after hours. It's possible that we retrace back up a little bit, but that is only going to be a dead cat bounce now, and it's going to set us up for a bit of a bull trap. So I want to be very careful that it's not until we actually see a breakout back up above this level, all longs are off. Longs are currently off until we see a breakout above this level once again. If we don't, if we get up to that level, get rejected, and then sell right back down, then a possibility for 454 is very much likely. And that's going to be that next support level. Again, validated here, and even in the past, validated very nicely over here. Again, it's been an area of resistance and a support for the market. So this is going to be an area of resistance for QQQs going into tomorrow. So that's all I've got for you today. A little bit of a shorter update, like I said, for individual stocks, technical analysis. I'll be posting a separate video. But like I said, I'm absolutely exhausted. It is well past 3 in the morning here in Tbilisi. So just want to get some sleep. I've got an early morning tomorrow. I'm traveling 3 hours up north. So again, thank you so much for joining us. As always, happy investing. Make sure that you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Also check out the links down below if you're interested in joining our Discord and our Patreon community. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.